How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the November episode of More Sports. It's just me today. So today's episode is not going to be that long, but I do have a couple things I want to talk about. And the first thing I want to talk about, which is the title of this episode, Fake It Until You Make It on ESPN. So this actually happened earlier in... Actually, this probably happened late September, early October. Of course, I've already dropped October's episode, so I didn't want to go in and say something until the story got fully developed. But as you guys probably already know, that on ESPN High School, the ESPN High School program, the high school Bishop Gordon does not actually exist. The high school played on a Thursday night showcase game on ESPN, and it found out during the game that their high school head coach had a warrant out for their arrest. So, man, it was just crazy. And as the reports came in that they actually weren't real, I read up that it was actually a fake school. The address led to not even to a school. It led to a fake, just a fake warehouse. It was all weird. And like I said, as the story kept developing, it was found out that the head coach had even promised the players and his assistants they would have free housing, free meals. The coaches on staff will get a nice little supplement for the year, and yada, yada, yada. Well, one player came out it was later revealed that all these players on this staff were actually college-level kids, or JUCO level, 19 years old, and the fact that they actually lost that night was hilarious. Losing to a bunch of 17, 16-year-olds and you're grown men, which is hilarious. The final score was actually a blowout. It wasn't actually a blowout. It was an embarrassment, but that's besides the point. They fake it until you make it on ESPN, they say. Fake it until you make it, but that's besides the point. One player actually came out and said it when the head coach came to him, he had promised them free housing and all that, but what really happened was they were sleeping in hotels. And at one point, they slept into one hotel, and then the very next day, they had to get kicked out because their card, or the team's money or budget, however you want to say, was declined. And so they were sleeping. One kid said they were sleeping on hallways. They were eating instant ramen noodles. It was the whole 9 yards, man. It was miserable. And the head coach, he pulled the whole scheme off and got away with it. He got the paycheck from ESPN, spent a little bit of it until the authorities came and got him for his warrant. And the whole reason they got on ESPN because ESPN uses a brother company called Penton Scheduling, and they were just like, oh yeah, seems legit, and they just let them on. And so I'm sure somebody got fired that day or got a stir talking to their HR. But hey, fake it until you make it on ESPN, my friends. Fake it until you make it on ESPN. Alright, now on to our next topic. Josh Gruden, he got into some trouble earlier this month, so it's found out, this is actually a couple weeks ago, he just got let go by the Los Angeles Raiders for, and I quote, for emails, which emails contain inappropriate content. These emails were actually a couple of years old. It's between him and another coach in the NFL, and they just recently resurfaced, and it got out, and the owner of the Los Angeles Raiders says, hey, we can't have this guy on our program, yada yada yada, and no, I take that back. So when they surfaced the whole social media, the world we live in, social media was like, hey, we can't have this guy running this program of all these comments, yada, yada, yada. And he resigned actually the very next day, which was crazy. It's not crazy. It's probably common. I mean, that's why you got to watch what you say, who you say it to, be kind to one another. You know what I mean? And I saw a meme the other day where it was a guy just pouring sweat. It said, every head NFL coach with an email right now, which, I mean, hey, you never know what's going to happen. You just got to stay professional, man. And so he just lost. He had a multi-million-dollar contract worth years away. It was worth not 10 mil. He had he was set. He even just built a new house in Los Angeles. not have it all gone. But he's not hurting for money. So yeah, moral of the story is, watch what you say. Don't be typing inappropriate stuff through emails, multiple threads, and be nice to one another, and represent what everybody stands for. Because like I said, it was inappropriate comments and all that. Alright guys, on to the next segment of this episode, and let me talk about them dogs real fast. Man, let me tell you something, as a UGA fan, UGA has just been on fire this year. They're still undefeated, and that's also, for the first time I've seen in a while, they're actually number 1 in the college playoff polls, and it's just been an exciting year for Georgia fans. That defense is just on fire, especially with their defensive front is just huge, man. Especially that number 99. That number 9 defensive end, let me tell you, he's a big old boy now. He's just dominating. Of course, all the other fronts are just dominating. Secondary, doing a great job. They're fitting their gaps assignments. And another thing is, they are hitting hard. And, a lot of guys, if anybody out there listens, plays football or watches football, if you just watch how they pursue. Pursuit's another number 1 key factor, I think, which made them overall aggressive so far this year. And it's just been a great year so far for UGA. And the one matchup everybody's just waiting for is Georgia and Alabama for the SEC and going to the playoffs. It'll be a great game, I can just tell. Offensively, though, offensively to me, I don't think they're as explosive as they've been, but now they're starting to get where they need to go, and I think it'll still be a good year for UGA. And so that's this weekend they got Old Missouri, and I'm rooting for the Dogs. I think the only threat we got left is, of course, Georgia Tech. You can't fall asleep on the old rivalry game right there against Georgia Tech. You just never know what's going to happen, but let's see. It's going to be a great year. But hey, speaking of Georgia teams, the Atlanta Braves finally won a World Series. Finally, since 1995, I finally won a World Series again. I was watching that game just the other night at the local pub, and man, let me tell you, ain't nothing more exciting being surrounded by a group of people just doing the chop, man. The chop lives on. Anybody that missed the game, it was just a smoke show. Automatic Atlanta Braves 7, Houston Astros 0, and what a way to end a series, going all the way to Game 5, and it's just incredible, man. Everybody, there were some people, some people were like, man, I hope Braves don't blow it, and well, they say that, Atlanta started off strong, all of a sudden they lost one. They're like, oh man, here we go with the Atlanta curse, but of course that's not what happened, man. It was just a great time for Atlanta. This Friday there's going to be a parade, and in fact, even the Metro Atlanta schools have shut down. They're giving all the kids off for the parade because they know it's just going to be a hectic day of celebration, and it's all good times. And also another thing was, a lot of people were saying this for the great Atlanta Braves player, Hank Aaron, great guy for the organization. They all said they were doing it for him, all that he's done for the Brave organization. Man, just a great year so far for Georgia sports. All right. Now, here's what I want to talk about. This actually happened earlier in the month, and this, of course, it involves the one man I feel like we've talked about a lot on this show, and it was good old Conor McGregor. Can't stay out of trouble or anything. So anyways, quick story about Conor McGregor real fast. Him and, rap artist, hip-hop artist, punk rock artist, Machine Gun Kelly actually got into it at the People Warner show earlier in the month. The two seemed to have gotten into a scuffle over some sort of dispute. The report didn't say, but man, McGregor's always like, I'll fight you anybody, anywhere. And the two obviously got hit, and it was just brutal. But man, let me tell you something. You do not want to go against McGregor anywhere. I don't care what anybody says. That man is crazy. And he, like I said, he'll fight anybody now. You won't see me going around the corner fighting him, even if he does have the skills or you think you can take him. You cannot take that man. That man is the ultimate boxer. But no, stuff like that happened along the way, and it's just like, man, this man cannot stay out of trouble. But hey, we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be like a Logan Paul and Jake Paul kind of thing. Maybe it'll be the fight of the year or something. can't wait to see what happens. But who knows? Right now, it's just a little skirmish. Just want to bring that up. It just seems like he just cannot stay out of trouble. But hey, who knows? It might turn in the fight of the year, and I got my money on McGregor. But alright, guys, this pretty much wraps up this episode. I just wanted to make a short episode this month. Everybody have a safe holidays. I'm actually, another reason why this episode's so short this month, I'm actually in the middle of getting ready for playoffs this season. A lot of people know that I'm down here in South Georgia this year coaching a high school team. We're doing great so far. We went 6-4 in the regular season, so we're getting ready for our playoff game against... We're getting ready for our playoff game. Right now, we're trying to see how it plays out this upcoming Friday. We'll know who it is by this Friday night because we're waiting between two teams. Until then, we're just preparing and getting ready to rock and roll. And also, quick shout out, guys. We also have me and Kyle of the Random Hour, we launched a new podcast called Popcorn Buckets. That's where we review, just any movie that we can think of. We give our quick little thoughts on it. We've got, we just dropped the Conjuring for Halloween month. We decided to review, the Conjuring and Conjuring 2 for Halloween for a little spook. But hey, we got other movies like those are our latest 2 episodes. Our first episode was actually He-Man, The Power of Grayskull, the documentary on Netflix. So if you're a big He-Man fan, I definitely recommend you check that out. And stuff like that. Again, I'll have the links in the description for you guys. I'll have links in the description of this episode for you guys to click on that link and just check it out. Again, you can check out, again, the name of the podcast is Popcorn Buckets. You can check it out on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere else, just like you can on this podcast. And again, everybody have a good holidays, and we'll see you for the next episode.